Welcome into the live. Welcome into the live. Today, I am going to be sharing with you how you can land a higher paying job in the next 30 days or less. Now, there's four things I'm going to talk to you about that include the entire higher life cycle from the time you decide you want to apply for a job all the way through to when you get a higher paying offer that I'm going to share with you today. So please grab something to write with. I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. First thing I'm going to talk to you about is I'm going to talk to you about your resume. If you are struggling to get job interviews, meaning you are applying to jobs and you're getting, most of what you're getting are rejections, it's probably your resume is the issue, right? Hiring managers do not see what they want to see when they look at your resume. Okay, I'm going to tell you what they want to see, and I'm going to tell you how I know it and why it will be a good idea for you to change it, okay? If you're struggling to find jobs, I'm going to talk to you about how to find and apply to more than 100 jobs a day in just 30 minutes on LinkedIn, ZipRecruiter, and Indeed.com. And if you are filling out applications on the company's website, I'm going to tell you why you should not do that, okay? And then I'm going to talk to you about job interviewing. If you're someone, you are making it to the interview, you're getting your initial interview done, you're getting your second interview done, but you are not getting offers, I'm going to tell you why the hiring manager is telling you no. You may think that the interview is about one thing, but the interview is actually about something completely different. And if you don't understand what that something is, you're going to continue to interview and never get job offers. Okay, I'll tell you how to get hiring managers to give you an offer after you interview if you understand what the interview is all about, all of the questions they're going to ask you, and how you answer those questions. I'll tell you that in just a second. And then I'm going to show you how to send a 3-sentence message. Real simple. I do this every single time with candidates that I am submitting to be hired. A 3-sentence message that will get you $2,000 to $10,000 more from every written job offer that you get. Every single one. It almost 100% of the time. And you can do this for the rest of your career. Okay, so let me just kind of give you guys, if this is your first time seeing me and you don't know who I am and I'm making all of these statements and promises and stuff like that, let me tell you who I am. So I've been in talent acquisition and recruiting as a leader, senior leader, director, VP, COO for several staffing agencies and corporations for 36 years. Okay, I am the person for every company that I get hired with. I'm the person that designs and manages the entire hire life cycle. What do I mean? When a hiring manager in a company that I work for wants to hire someone, they come to me. Daniel, we need to hire someone. Can you please post a position for me? First thing I do is get them a job description, get that approved. Second thing I do is I do a salary survey to make sure that the pay is correct. We get that approved. Then I am the one who manages the applicant tracking system. So I post the position in what we call a requisition inside of the applicant tracking system, which then goes to our career website, which then goes to the job board, and you see it, okay? When you see that job on the job board, I'm the one that put it there. When you decide to submit your resume for this job to tell us that you're interested in being considered for this job, your resume comes back to me or someone on my team, right? And we look at it, and I am the one who determines if you are going to interview with the hiring manager or not, right? I look at your resume based on what the hiring manager told me they're interested in. I will then submit your resume or not. If your resume doesn't match what the hiring manager is looking for, I do not submit you. Now, a lot of recruiters won't call you and tell you why your resume was not selected. Okay, I don't have a problem with telling candidates that, right? But I know how to make sure that every time you submit your resume, that you are being selected. Every time a hiring manager or recruiter sees your resume, you are being selected. I know how to do that, and I'm going to tell you exactly what to do. You could do it yourself, okay? So these are the things that I'm going to share with you. Many of you ask me for my email address, so I'm pinning it in the chat on Instagram and Facebook, and it is above my head on TikTok. So you can take a look at that, and you can send me an email if you like. Okay, so let's get started. Your resume, okay? What is the purpose of your resume? Okay, I want you to be honest with me. If you believe that the purpose of your resume is to show the hiring manager your skill, experience, education, background, and that you are qualified to do a job, if you think that is the purpose of your resume, then type yes in the chat. Because a lot of people think that the way they put their resume together is they want to show the hiring manager that they're qualified to do this particular job. The truth is, that is not the purpose of your resume. The purpose of your resume is to not show the hiring manager all of your skills, all of your experience, all of your education, and your background. That's not its purpose. Your resume has one job, just one simple, single job. And if you don't know how to do this job, if you don't know how to create a resume that does this job, then you are not going to get selected. You're going to keep getting rejection letters, and you're going to keep sending your resume to jobs, and hiring managers are going to continue to tell you no. What is that one job? The job of your resume is to get you an interview. That's the only job. It's not to prove to the hiring manager that you have the education or the experience. That's not the purpose of it, okay? The hiring manager should be able to look at your resume and in 10 seconds make a decision, yes, I want to interview this person. No one can read your resume in 10 seconds. We can't look at your whole resume in 10 seconds. So guess what? We don't read resumes. Hiring managers do not read resumes. They skim and scan resumes for proof that you can do what they want someone to do. And when they see that proof, they call you. So the opposite is true. If they are looking at the resume and they do not see the proof that I'm about to tell you that they're looking for, if they don't see the proof, they will not call you. They won't. It happened to me. I'm the recruiter that does the pre-screen, that submits the resume to the hiring manager on behalf of you. And they were telling me no about you. And I had a conversation with you, right? I couldn't figure that out until about 28 years ago. So you would call me, interview with me as a recruiter. I'm acting and working on behalf of the hiring manager. And I submit your resume and they say, no, give me more people. And I couldn't understand why. There are three things that every hiring manager wants to see. And I'm going to add a fourth that makes hiring managers call you in less than 15 seconds from picking up your resume. Okay? Now, if you want me to review your resume for free, all you got to do is email it to me. My email address is pinned in the chat and it's above my head. It's a free review. Okay? So, what do hiring managers want to see? What are the three things that every hiring manager, the moment they pick up your resume, want to see? Number one, they want to see, they have three questions in their mind they're asking. What does this person do? I need someone to do this. What do they do? Now, I'm not talking about job title. Most of you are hung up on your job title. For every 100 companies that are out there that have a job that does the exact same thing, 100 companies will have a different job title. So we don't consider job titles as the thing you do. The job title, listen, the job title describes what you do, but the job title is not what you do. But most of you front load your resume with your job title. Okay? I am a VP or director of recruiting. Okay? Talent acquisition. But I'm a recruiter. And that is what a hiring manager wants to know about me. If you are a customer service call center rep, you are a customer service expert or a sales expert or a nurse or a doctor or a lawyer or an engineer or a tech support specialist, whatever that is, the thing you do is not always your title. And most people are hung up on the title, and hiring managers don't care about that. They want to know, what does this person do? That's the first thing. The second thing they want to know is, how long has this person done it? Why is knowing the years of experience you have, why is that important? Because the fewer years experience you have, the more time it will take a hiring manager to train. If a hiring manager does not have the bandwidth to train, they will not hire an entry-level person. 0 to 4 years experience. They're not going to hire you. You fall in one of 4 categories. One is you are entry-level, 0 to 4 years. 2, 5 to 9 years, you're mid-level. We know we don't have to train you, but we're not comfortable giving you everything without supervision. If you have 10 to 15 years, then we consider you to be a senior level professional. And if you have more than 15 years experience, you are a flat out expert. We can give you everything and you could just report back every month or whatever it is, right? Because we know you can get the job done. No one has to supervise you. We give you the outcome we want, and that person will go and do it. So in the chat, how many years experience do you have doing what you do? That's important for hiring managers. Raise your hand, tell me, I've been doing it for 10 years, 15 years, 2 years, 5 years. Just put that in the chat. The next thing they want to know, and 99.9% of you, I look at hundreds of resumes every day. I've looked at more than 750,000 resumes in my career, and almost every single one of you are missing this, okay? Hiring managers, the third thing they want to know is, how good is this person at doing it? Now, I'm going to tell you what I mean by how good you are and how hiring managers determine how good you are. Percentages, numbers, how much revenue you generated, how much cost you've saved, how many people you've payrolled, how many desktops did you support, end users did you support, right? Numbers, percentages, cost savings, revenue generated. 99% of you do not have metrics on your resume, and it is the thing that hiring managers want to see, and is the thing they skim and scan for that makes them call you in 10 seconds or not. So imagine your resume doesn't have metrics. When a hiring manager is trying to hire a call center rep, they're asking themselves the question, how many inbound phone calls does this person take a day? How long is this person's call time? If you're a tech support, how many end users has this person supported? If you're sales, how much revenue in this market or area or selling this thing does this person close? In my case, how many people does this person get hired, not recruit, not just interview, get hired annually? Most of you don't have that on your resume. And it is the single most important thing on your resume, and why hiring managers say no to you. Because you can't say, I'm a high volume recruiter. What does high volume mean? You can't say I'm a high volume call center rep, or a high volume tech support person, or a high volume project manager, high volume payroll manager. You can't say that. What does high volume mean? High volume to one person may be 500. High volume to another person may be 5,000. You have to be very, very specific about the metrics. So when we do people's resume on my fast track program, the reason why people get interviews so fast is because this is what hiring managers want to see. Now, I'm going to tell you one additional thing you can answer for a hiring manager, and I'm going to tell you why I know this. 28 years ago, I was a senior recruiter in a 1,000-seat customer service call center. And every 2 weeks, we had like a 25 or 30 person training class, okay? So I was responsible for recruiting candidates to get hiring managers interviews. So when a hiring manager says, yep, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, we do have a 30-person class. We need people to handle this particular account, whatever, right? I would get the specifics. They would tell me the specifics. I would then do the posting, and you would submit your resume, and I would call you and talk to you. I would have your resume in my hand, going down your resume, and these are some of the questions I would ask you. Okay, I see you're a call center rep. How much experience do you have in years? How many calls are you responsible for taking? What are your call volumes? Those are the questions I was asking you. On a separate piece of paper, I would put my recruiter notes, everything that I found out about you. And then I would grade every candidate, right, on a scale from 1 to 10. You're an 8. This person is a 10. They're perfect. This person is a 9. This person is a 7. Oh my goodness, this person is awesome. They're a 10 plus. This is what I used to put in my recruiter notes. I would then take my notes and your resume and submit it to a hiring manager, and they would tell me, no thank you, get me more people. And I'm like, what? Why did you reject this person? That used to happen over and over and over again. In fact, I would submit 10 people and only 2 get selected to interview. 20 people and only 3 to 4 get. 40 people and only 5 or 6 people get interviewed. And I was about to quit this job, and I went to my director, HR director. She was a short African American lady with very short hair. I said to her, I'm struggling. I'm very concerned. I don't know if we're going to be able to fill this upcoming training class. I'm submitting candidates, perfectly qualified candidates, to the hiring managers, and they are rejecting them and telling me no. And I showed her the resumes that I was submitting. I showed her my recruiter notes. She looked at it. I thought she was going to get up and go talk to their directors and say, what's going on? But she didn't. What she said to me was, I hear what you're saying, Dan. I see these are good candidates. Go ask them what they're looking for. And I said, what? That's your answer? Like, go ask them what... I've already asked them what they're looking for. That's why I have the recruiter notes. They told me what they want, and I put it in the notes. She says, just go ask them again. I was very frustrated. I was going to quit this job. So I decided, well, I needed my job, so I was going to try it again. But I didn't think anything was going to change. So I invited the hiring managers and I invited their directors into the conference room for a meeting. I was about to try to pin every single one of these hiring managers to the wall and prove they didn't like me. Right? I was going to prove this. Okay? So I got everybody in the conference room, and I said, hey, listen, we got this training class that's coming up. Okay? We have this training class that's coming up, and I don't think we're going to make it. And the reason why I don't think we're going to make it is because you guys are rejecting everybody that I'm sending, and I just don't understand what you're looking for. I thought I was sending you what you wanted, but obviously I'm not. And this is what they said to me. Daniel, I am sure everyone that you're submitting, they're good people, right? Good candidates. But I just don't see what you're saying. Now that was a little confusing to me, because I'm saying I have the resume and I put all of the information that you told me you wanted in my recruiter notes. So I was asking, what do you mean you don't see it? And this is what they told me. Daniel, I understand what you're saying these people do. I mean, I looked at your notes. I could see it. You're saying that this person does this, does that, right? But I don't see it. They kept saying that. And I'm like, what are you talking about? You don't see it. You just read what I wrote. And they said it again. And then I asked this question. Wait a minute. What do you mean you don't see it? This is what they said. Listen, it's not on their resume. I see it in your notes, but it's not on their resume. So a light bulb went off for me. Oh, they want to see it on the person's resume, not in my notes, because they thought I was boosting you up. They didn't think that what I was writing was actually what you did, even though it was. They thought I was putting that information there just so I can get you interviewed. So they felt like it was a waste of their time if they interviewed you and they started asking these questions and you didn't have the qualifications. So let me tell you what I did. I ran back to my office. I had 4 candidates that I was about to submit to be interviewed to the hiring manager. But I didn't submit their information because I wanted to wait after this meeting. So I ran back to my office and I looked at these resumes, and sure enough, that information was not clear on your resume. So this is what I did. The notes I had, I added it to the person's resume right up top. Right? I didn't put it in as recruiter notes. I put it on the resume as if you wrote it. Right? And then I would call you back. And I called you and said, hey, I took the information that you shared with me and I put it on your resume, and I want you to take a look at it before I submit it to the hiring manager, because I want to get your okay first. So every person that I did that for, the 4 people that I did it for, they were like, yeah, that's great, because it's what they did. So I submitted those resumes after getting the candidate's approval, and I got an email back in all caps, I think it was, said, yes, this is exactly what we want to see. I want to interview these candidates. Now, I thought they was trying to interview you because we were getting close to the cutoff, right? But they wanted to interview all 4 of those candidates, and they did. Everything changed. I started doing that for every single candidate, and I've been doing that for every candidate that I submit to a hiring manager for the past 28 years. Now, the resume that you originally sent to me for the application, I delete that resume out of the applicant tracking system and upload the new resume that you approved, because I didn't want hiring managers to think I was cheating, that I was adding information on the resume that was not actually your skill, experience, and background. Okay? So I went from 2 out of every 10 people getting an actual interview to 8, almost 9 out of every 10 people that I submit getting an interview. It happens right now. 87% interview, submittal to interview ratio is what I have. I have a 75% higher ratio from the people that I submit. And that's how I got promoted so fast after that. What was the difference? It wasn't you. You're the same person. You have the same skill, the same ability. So right now you are submitting your resume, showing hiring managers that you're interested in the jobs they posted, and they're looking at your resume the same way the hiring managers have been looking at my resumes, and they're saying, no, thank you. I would much rather look at somebody else's. No, thank you. I don't care how many times you submit your resume. No, thank you. No, thank you. No, thank you. That's what's happening. And that happens to a lot of people. So people who are on my fast track program, they come to me and say, well, Daniel, why is no one wanting to interview with me? And this is before they get on my fast track program, and I take a look at the resume and I say, I can tell you why. This is why. So most people say, I'm just tired of it. Can you help me? So I have a fast track program where I am their recruiting assistant, and I walk them through every part of the process so they can get hired in 22 to 28 days. One of the last guys I got hired, I'm going to tell you a story in just a second. Senior sales account manager, $140,000 a year, got a job in 28 days. He had been searching for 8 months. That may be you. That may be you. Okay? And so the bottom line is you got to make sure that you have a resume that attracts the attention of hiring managers and recruiters, because if you don't, then what ends up happening is no one's going to call you. All right? So, what is the fourth thing that I tell people to add to their resume? Okay, the fourth thing I tell people to add is what I call a value statement. Okay, it is a statement that tells hiring managers how you're going to help them. Okay, so let me explain this to you. So this is when Nike comes out with a brand new shoe. Let's say they're coming out with a shoe in May. When Nike is posting this shoe or they're advertising this shoe, they don't advertise it like this. They don't say, hey, we're coming out with a brand new shoe in May of 2026. It has rubber, canvas, laces, and it is a size 10. Buy it. That's not what Nike says. Okay? What Nike says is, we are coming out with a brand new shoe in May of 2026. Okay? It is going to help you jump higher, run faster, look better, and win in life. That's what Nike says. Nike tells you how if you grab this shoe, how it is going to help you. If you buy this shoe, how it's going to help you. So what we do, and what I suggest you do, is to add a I help you to statement on your resume right up top. I, as a recruiter, help you to eliminate turnover, increase the quality of candidates, decrease your time to fill ratio, right? That's what I help you do. So if you want better quality candidates, you want your fill ratio to be better, you want to eliminate turnover, then I'm the guy you need to hire, right? And so in accounting, it's the same thing. If you're a payroll person and you say if you want 100% accuracy with your payroll, you want employers to be satisfied with the payroll process and being paid, hire me. You have to add a value statement that if you hire me, this is what you get. That's the fourth thing that we tell people to add on their fast track. On my fast track program, we do that on their resume. And we do that for everybody's resume that we work with, okay? So the bottom line is, we're trying to show hiring managers what they want. I have worked with thousands, with an S, hiring managers. Thousands, okay? They all want the same exact thing. And it hasn't changed much in the 35 years I've been doing it, okay? So if you fix your resume to show hiring managers what they want to see, you'll get a lot more calls. If you don't fix your resume to show hiring managers what they want to see, what's happening in your life right now will continue to happen. Okay? So now, I'm going to talk to you about how you can quickly get your name in front of hundreds of hiring managers every week, and all you have to do is spend 30 minutes a day. Okay? The average person on my fast track program in the first week on the program, in week 2, they get 4 interviews. And they're at every level, college grads, senior reps, everybody. I'm going to tell you why. So when you apply to jobs, most people are making a critical mistake. Okay? Number 1, on average, in the chat, tell me approximately how many jobs do you apply to on a weekly basis? Just raise your hand. Tell me, man, I apply to 10 jobs a week, 15 jobs a week, 30 jobs a week. How many jobs a week do you apply to? Submit your resume and application to. And I'm going to explain to you what you are doing and what you should be doing, what works. The average person on my fast track program, the average person that I talk to, they apply to 10 to 25 jobs per week. That's what they do, okay? And I tell people, if you're applying to 10 to 25 jobs on a weekly basis, you are never, with a capital N, you're never going to find a job, okay? So let me explain to you what's happening. If you apply to 10 jobs a week, that's 40 jobs a month. the very next month, when those jobs are filled already, you got to start that process all over again. Because if you didn't get a job the 30 days prior, right? The time to fill for most jobs is about 4 weeks for individual contributors. That the time from the time we post it to the time we have an offer and close the job, it's about 30 days. Okay. So if you are not getting a job from that previous month, if you are not getting interviews from that previous month, you have to start it all over again the very next month. And so if the volume of the number of jobs that you're applying to is this low, it's going to take you forever to get hired. Let me explain to you what I mean. In week 1, if you apply to 10 jobs and nobody reaches out to you, right? And you do the same thing in week 2. In week 1, we've already started interviewing people in week 2. In week 2, we start hiring manager interviews, and then week 3 we do final interviews and offers. Week 4 we make the offer, get it signed, and we close the job. That's typically what happens. That's the average hire time. So if you're only applying to 10 jobs every single day, you're going to keep doing that like Ron did, week after week after week after week, and the months are going to continue to pile up, and you're not going to know why it's happening. That's one mistake. The second mistake is, if you're someone who says, I don't trust job boards, if I see a position on a job board, I'm going to go to that company's website and fill out their application. Type yes in the chat. That's what you do. Just raise your hand and say, yep, I do not trust job boards. I go to the company's website and fill out the application, which takes me about 35 minutes. If you're someone who is doing that, right, you are wasting your time. It is a complete waste of time to go to the company's website, because the job that is on the job board, for the most part, I'm going to explain to you how to know the difference. The job that is open on the job board is the same job that's open on the company's website. I'm talking about open jobs now. I'm going to tell you how to know whether a job is open on the job board in just a second. That same job is open. So if you decide to not do the easy apply, one click apply, or quick apply application, which takes you 20 seconds, and you opt to go to the company's website and take 35 minutes to do the application, guess what happens when your application and resume comes into the system? All we want is your resume. We don't care where the resume came from. When you apply to that job on the job board, we're just trying to get your resume so we can see if you're qualified. When you apply to the job via the company's career site, we're just trying to get your resume to see if you're qualified. So we make you fill out that whole application on the job site, on the career site, just so we can get your resume. And if your resume does not match what we're looking for, we throw it in the trash. So you just spent 35 minutes filling out a long application when you could have just stayed on the job board and spent 20 seconds to do the exact same thing. So that's why I tell people on my Fast Track program, do not fill out long applications. I don't care what the job is. As a recruiter, the only thing we want is your resume. Let me give you another scenario. If the option were hand the recruiter your resume, do the resume on the job board that takes 20 seconds, or do the application on the career site, handing your resume is the best. Because if I look at you, it takes 2 seconds. If I look at your resume and you're qualified, I can have you complete the application later. In fact, when you do the application in the career on the career site and on the job board, it's really not an application anyway. It's an interest form. You're telling us you're interested in the position. The application doesn't happen until post offer. Okay? So you're just sending us information to let us know, I saw the job opening, I'm interested, here's my resume, please consider me, right? That's all it is. So I tell people, you could do whatever you want, but I tell people on my Fast Track program, don't fill out applications on the company's website. Now, why do people on the Fast Track program have so much success? I'm going to explain to you. This is why they have so much success. Now, it's mind-blowing for a lot of people the moment I tell them, okay? I'm going to tell you how to search for jobs in just a second, but I'm going to give you the numbers first. So, this is what everyone on the Fast Track program is required to do, okay? We set up their search. I help them set up their search, and they apply to 30 jobs a day on ZipRecruiter, 30 jobs a day on Indeed, and 30 jobs a day on LinkedIn. It takes a total, in terms of time, 30 minutes. So 30 jobs takes 10 minutes to complete, the way that I show people on the Fast Track program. Now, why is that important? And why do we do it this way? Here's why. When we as recruiters post positions, please hear me very clearly. We have one goal. Get resumes. That's our job. That's my job. When I post a position, I have one goal, not to get you to fill out an application, to get your resume. That's the only goal I have. Thank you for the rose lake. Okay? So, the faster I can get resumes, the better I am at my job. Okay? That's all I'm trying to do. No one's trying to hire you when you apply to a job via a job post. That's not how I just want to get your resume. And the more resumes I can get, the faster I can get them, the better it is for me and the hiring manager. Okay? So most recruiters, if they're smart, they only do easy apply, quick apply, and one quick click apply applications on the job boards. And we toggle that on in the applicant tracking system. We do that so we can get resumes. That's it. I'm telling you what I have open. Show me that you're interested. Send me your resume. Let me take a look at it. And if it's what we're looking for, I'm going to get you an interview, right? That's all we're trying to do. We're not trying to do anything other than that. Trust me. Okay? So now, you can decide if you're going to go the fast route or the slow route. Most candidates, since they don't know anything about job boards, they go the slow route. But let me explain something to you. That job is not on that job board unless ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com, or LinkedIn, they scrape it from our website or we post it there directly. Now, let me explain to you how you know if a job is open or closed. Okay? You should never, ever underline, highlight, bright, never, ever apply to jobs that are older than 30 days on a job board. You want to know why? Because if I hire people, if I post a position, hypothetically April 1st, and 6 to 8 hours after I post it in the applicant tracking system, it lands on those job boards. If I hire someone April 28th and I close the position in the ATS and it comes off of our career site immediately when I close it, listen, ZipRecruiter, Indeed.com, LinkedIn, Glassdoor, and all of the other job boards do not remove it from their site until 30 to 60 days after I've closed it. So you may be applying to jobs that are closed. How can you know? If you get a rejection within 5 minutes of applying, that job is not open. You want to verify it? Go to the company's website and see if it's open. Now, if you are someone, raise your hand, be honest with me, and you've gotten fast rejections saying we decided to go with someone else, type yes in the chat. Because if you have just applied to a closed job and you didn't know it because you did not filter the job search the right way. Okay, so everybody on our Fast Track program, we do an onboarding and I walk them through this setup. We do not apply to jobs unless they are 30 days or newer, because as a talent acquisition expert, I know those jobs are closed usually after 30 days. Now, if you're a senior manager, VP, or someone like that, it may be open slightly longer, but for the most part, it's going to be closed. Okay, so that's kind of what we do. Now, here's the other problem that people have. When they search for jobs, you're searching wrong. If you're someone, raise your hand, just be honest. When you start your search on a job board, you start the search with your previous job title, current job title, or the job title you want. If that's what you usually do, type yes in the chat. Just be honest. I usually start my search with my job title. If that's what you're doing, you're making a mistake. Okay? You do not want to search for jobs in that way. Let me explain to you. Because why? That's not how job boards work. I tell people on my Fast Track program, and I'm telling you, you are supposed to use one single word, no more than two. One single word. Okay, Ron. He's a person who just graduated from the Fast Track program. He graduated at the beginning of April. He started March 5th. Ron came to me. He was desperate. Ron has been in the workforce for 30 years. He's a senior sales account manager for a large global company. And Ron said to me, Daniel, I'm desperate. He attended one of my trainings. I'm desperate. Do you think you can help me? I think I'm being aged out of the market. I think he's in his mid-50s. I think that people see how long I've been working and what I've done, and I'm being aged out. Is ageism a thing? And I said, probably not. No, it's not. It's not a thing. Okay? So he says, well, why can I get a job? I'm looking for jobs, and there are no jobs that are available. And I said, well, I can help you, Ron, but this is what it looks like. So Ron said, okay. His severance was being depleted. His unemployment was ending. Okay? Running out of money. All right? And he still has a mortgage, still got to take care of his family, still trying to, retire in his career, do whatever, right? So Ron says, okay, I'm going to try your Fast Track program, right? I'm going to try it. Do you really think you can help me? I said, yeah, I think I can. Based on your skill set, based on what you do, I can tell you I can help you, okay? I wasn't trying to trick him. I said, Ron, you got to do everything I tell you to do. If you do exactly what I tell you to do, you'll see that you can be helped. So he did. Ron jumped on the Fast Track program March 5th. Now, I only use him as an example. I have a ton of examples like this, but March 5th is when he jumped on the Fast Track program. Okay, first thing, I said, Ron, first thing we're going to do is we need to fix this resume for you because it stinks. Okay, so that's first. All right, so Ron sent me his resume, and I revamped his resume to show exactly what the hiring managers want to see, right? His resume wasn't like that. His resume read a lot like many of yours does. It's like a biography. You talk about all of the things that you've done in the past, and there is no indication in terms of what you've written that show a hiring manager how you can help them. Okay, so this is Ron's issue. So I then I said, Ron, okay, we're going to take care of your resume. We did that. I said, the next thing we're going to do, Ron, is you and I need to hop on a Zoom call, and I am going to do your LinkedIn profile with you. So we walked in a LinkedIn profile. I said, okay, first, you need a banner. Put a banner there, anything, nobody cares what it is, just put a banner there. It shows that your profile is complete. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to change your headline. So we changed his headline to be an attraction magnet. The 4 things and their hiring manager wants to see what you do, how long you've done it, how good you are doing it, and a value statement. I help you too. And I said, then we're going to change your about me section. And we changed that. And then I said, the rest of this stuff down at the bottom, your work history, we actually don't look at it. No, we don't. We don't look at it. Nobody looks at that. So you could just put down your position title, but all of the things, these 25 bullets that you have for every job that you've done, we don't care about that. We don't look at it. We just don't. Not on LinkedIn, we don't. We don't look at that. All right. So we fixed Ron's LinkedIn. And I said, you're going to go do the same thing. What I'm about to show you, you're going to do the same thing on ZipRecruiter and Indeed.com. So check this out. This is what we did. I said, I'm going to show you, walk you through a search. But before I walk you through the right way to search, I need you to show me how you're searching. So he says, okay. I said, well, just imagine you're about to search for a job for yourself the way you've been searching for the past 8 months. That's what he did. So Ron typed in Senior Sales Account Manager on LinkedIn. The search brought back, I said, don't touch anything else. Don't filter anything else. He brought back like 5,000 results. I said, okay, all right. I said, Ron, first, half of those jobs that we're looking at right now, they're closed. They're not filled. He says, what? Yeah. I said, are you getting immediate rejections for some of these jobs? He says, yeah. I would submit my application or resume, and within like 5 minutes, I would get a rejection letter back. And I told him, I said, well, the problem that you have is half of these jobs are closed. You're applying to jobs that are no longer open in the applicant tracking system. You think somebody's looking at your resume, but they're not looking at your resume. In fact, your application or your resume has never even gotten into the applicant tracking system, because when it got to the applicant tracking system, the resume was closed. There was no pathway for it, so it just kicked you back this rejection letter. I'm the one that types that rejection letter in the applicant tracking system, so I know what you got. He says, wow, yeah. So first thing we have to do is sort this by the number of days when a position was posted. So I said, let's take it down to 30 days. And I think it went from 5,000 down to 2,000. See that now we have about 2,000 jobs that we're looking at that are potentially open, that match what you are looking for based on your criteria. I said, but next thing we need to do is sort it by your skill level. See, you're not entry level. This is all 2,000 positions with this job title, but you're not entry level, right? You're director level. You're senior manager level. So we need to sort by your position, which we did. It dropped it by more. And I said, now we can sort by where you want to work, whether it's easy, whether it's remote, hybrid. Are you open to all? Yes, I'm open to all of it. I can work remote, hybrid, local. I don't care. I'm open. I said, okay, great. We'll leave that open. And then I said, the next thing we need to do is you can't be doing long applications because you won't be able to get through them. So you got to do only easy apply. Only. So we're going to sort it by easy apply. So we did that. It went all the way down to 18 jobs. So all he had was 18 jobs. And I said to him, is this how you've been searching? He said, yeah. For the past 8 months. Yeah. I said, okay, well, you're never going to get a job, man. Never. Ever. You're going to be suffering. You're going to lose everything. Right? And I said to him, how many jobs did you apply to last week? He said about 15. I said, oh my gosh, Ron. No. Ron. Ron, stop. So check it out. I said, Ron, I'm going to show you how you're supposed to be searching. Okay? So I said, let's go back to the front of the search. And we did. I said, I don't want you to type in your whole job title. I just want you to type in the single function of the job word. One word. What do you do? He says, well, I'm in sales. Yes, type in sales. Okay, just that's all you type. Put sales in there. You guys can do this right now with your own career. Said, he types in sales. When he clicks search, 450,000 jobs showed up. 450,000. He was like, wow, yes, 450,000. And I said, now remember, half of these jobs are already closed, so let's sort it by 30 days. Took it down to like 250,000. I said, okay, remember, all of these jobs you're not qualified for because you're above some are above you. So let's sort it by your position title. We sorted it. I said, and you're remote, hybrid, on-site, you good with all that? Okay, great. Now let's sort it by easy apply. It went down to 43,000 jobs. So by by a comparison. His search brought 18 jobs back. My search, same search, the only difference is the keyword, brought back 43,000. I said, now Ron, you're looking at what I call a premium search, a perfectly matched search for you. Okay? Most people put in pay. You don't want to do that because as recruiters, we don't put pay into the applicant tracking system because we don't want it to be public for these types of positions. But there's a way to guarantee pay. He says, how do you do that? You got to sort it by position. So when I put it as director or senior manager or VP or C-level executive, it automatically tells you that you're within that pay range. All right? It automatically says, wow, that's good. Okay, so now here's what you're going to do, Ron. Since we have Easy Apply, I want you to apply to 5 jobs right now. You're just going to click. We had his new resume uploaded. Click, apply, send. Click. You're not going to read job descriptions. Click, apply, send. Click, apply, send. Click, apply. That's what he did. It took him 5 minutes to apply to 15 jobs. I said, you just applied to more jobs in 5 minutes than you did all of last week. Right? So I said, now, this is what you're going to do. You're going to apply to 30 jobs on LinkedIn, 30 jobs on ZipRecruiter, and 30 jobs on Indeed.com. Every day, 7 days a week, 630 jobs in 1 week. Every day, 30 minutes. You're going to apply, go have your coffee, walk with your wife, do whatever you need to do. Okay? And that's what he did. So week 1, he applied to 630 jobs. Week 2, he had 4 initial screenings, recruiter interviews. He applied to another 630 jobs. In week 3, he had 2 hiring manager final interviews and 3 more initial screenings. At the end of week 3, he got 2 written offers on a Friday. 2. But because of his 3 initial screenings that Monday and Tuesday in week 3, he didn't want to accept those offers. He says, I need to see what these other ones are going to do. So that next week, I think it was Tuesday, he got 1 on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, the offers. Okay? I talk with him before every interview, and I talk with him after every offer. On April 7th at 4:16 p.m., I got this email. Because I hadn't talked to Ron in like a week. And he wasn't on the Monday team call. So this was a Tuesday. Hey, Coach Daniel, I wanted to let you know I accepted a new position. I know you wanted to chat with me before I accepted the offer, but honestly, they met everything I requested in terms of salary, vacation days, paid holidays, investment in their pension plan. My new role will be as commercial manager in the medical business unit with commercial responsibilities over 6 shared locations with customer service managers and operational teams who do not report directly into the medical business unit. Coach Daniel, your program is outstanding, and I would be more than happy to provide you with an exceptional endorsement. Coach, your formula works. Thank you so much. Best regards, Ron S. Now, I only take 30 people per month on my Fast Track program, but these are the messages that I get. What was Ron's issue? It wasn't that he wasn't qualified. He was qualified. The guy's making $140,000 a year. That wasn't the case, right? He just didn't know how to front load and position his qualifications. So we changed that. What was Ron's other problem? He didn't know how to find jobs, right? Ron's still the same guy who can get the outcome that companies want, but nobody was seeing him because he didn't know how to apply to jobs. He didn't know how to find them. So I fixed that for him. I walked Ron through every single interview. I told him every question that was going to be asked, and every answer he should give and why. I explained to him what the actual interview was about. It's not Ron, okay? Ron just didn't understand why the interview was the way it was and what was going to go on. So I told him. And then Ron didn't understand how his resume led to the interview, which automatically in the mind of the hiring manager said this guy is a top guy. So they were already thinking about higher pay with respect to the offer. Okay? It wasn't Ron, but it was Ron. He just didn't know. Because nobody talks to you about the hire process. No one. So you're out here struggling to try to find work, and you're thinking that it's something wrong with you, but it's not. You just don't understand the process. So, this is an option. You have an option. You can use the information that I just gave you to fix your resume, to learn how to find jobs, apply to enough jobs, stop doing the things that don't work and start doing it. But all I'm providing you with is information. Information without action means nothing. It means nothing. If you don't take action on the information that you're given, nothing in your life will change. The Bible says it like this. It says, faith without works is dead. It's empty. It's meaningless. So having faith but not using the faith gets you no benefit. Having the information but not using the information gets you no benefit at all. I'll come on every day. I'm going to do a live. I provide content. Tell you exactly what to do. If you don't do it, nothing will change in your life. If you want me to review your resume for free, the email is right here. Daniel@dscds.com. Daniel@dscds.com. If you're someone who says, I'm tired, help me. What is this fast track program? Give me the information so I can make a decision for myself about what I want to do. All you have to do is DM me or email me the word fast track and I'll send it to you. You can do whatever you want. Your life is not going to change if you don't take action. The first step is to do what you need to do for yourself. I will see you guys on the next live. Take care.